Welcome to Art and Soul. I'm your host, Kelly MacIntyre, and on this week's program, I get a chance to sit down with a very talented Ashley Burton. We're going to be discussing her upcoming one-woman show, known as Party. Then we're going to have a chance to hit the road and visit two talented artists leading up to the 2012 studio tour. We also get to close the show with a great performance by some Flutes. All this and more. Don't go anywhere. Well, I'm here with the talented Ashley Burton, and Ashley, I'm going to brag about you to the viewers for a moment. Let's just get this out there because it's incredible. Your creative journey began competing with the Oakville Canadian Dance Company. Majored in drama at high school in Oakville, local girl, and then off to Randolph Academy of the Performing Arts, and took some singing lessons before you got in there. You won a prestigious award, the Triple Threat Award, which I think you're a triple threat from everything you're involved in. After that, and on the heels of leaving there, you picked up the role of Lisa in Mamma Mia. Incredible. And just finished a stint with Rock of Ages in Toronto, and now you're hitting the road with Known as Party. I mean, just incredible. But you've traveled, you've been in front of audiences everywhere, but you're coming home. And you were born and raised here. These stories are from our backyard with your family. How does it feel to come here this weekend and perform Known as Party in front of a hometown crowd?
Awesome.
Oh man.
Just so exciting.
Yeah.
You know, this show and these stories originated from my grandmother's backyard, which is like 10 minutes from here.
Yeah.
And I would have never thought that it would become such a big production like it is, because I just always told these stories to friends for fun. And now being able to integrate the lighting and the sound and have it just perfect to really relay all the stories the way they happened.
And you're sharing stories, but everybody who, I mean, you're Nona, Nana, you know, there's people that it's got to cross cultures, because these, the lines that you're, saying, it's got to resonate with people from every background. They've all got some stories similar.
And that's what's happened in the previous shows. I see people come up to me and say, "Thank you so much. That is my Aunt Claire," or whoever. Yeah. So it's nice to see people reminisce about where they come from.
And I was watching the trailers before we had the interview, and the interaction with the audience is incredible. But the thing is, the people are laughing, but then they sort of turn to each other, and in that moment, what I gather is you're reconnecting families as well through this laughter, because, and we'd said before we went to tape, someone might say, I should really call my grandmother, or gosh, I should really call and check in, with family again. Do you find you're you to feel that connection?
Well, that's the intention behind it, is I just love my family. I love just going at Christmas time, pulling out the guitar, and just being with my cousins and laughing. Like, to me, those are moments in life that I remember the most.
Oh, definitely. Well, and it's interesting too, because the thing is, you hit the stage, you're a one-woman show. But before we get kind of further into the interview, I'd love you to explain, because it's not just you performing. Like you go to Mamma Mia, hit your mark, you're singing, you finish, thanks so much, the applause, and you head out. For this one, there's no one to run your lines off of. You've got to find that and ground yourself before you hit that stage. And when you come out, you're in character and you're ready to go. How do you find that? What goes on before you hit the stage?
Well, the most important thing is that I'm grounded and real, and that I know that it's not performing, that I'm truly present in the room with the audience. And I think that kind of throws them off, because they're expecting this show.
Yeah.
And when I come out and look at an audience member in the eyes, they're almost like, oh, she's looking at me. So I think right away, the way I set the tone of the show is that we're doing this together. And it's like we're in her backyard and I'm retelling these stories. So to get myself there, I definitely practice yoga and meditation. And I watch a little bit of videos of the actual people, just to get have them right there with me. Yeah. But it's really just about being still right before I come out and allowing all of that moment, energy to settle, so that I'm really you know, inviting these people and opening the show up from a true place.
And the thing is, it's not words and phrases that you're sharing with the audience and memories. This is a cinema. I mean, it's multimedia. That there's so many aspects and different areas to this. You're not only speaking to them. You've got visuals. You've got things going on. So maybe explain that whole, you know, just what they're going to see.
Yeah. Well, you know, I thought a one-woman show for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
You know, it can be fun.
Yeah.
But how great would it be to actually show the real footage of this stuff that I'm saying? So when I say, oh, the time when my nonna had the knife and she appears on the screen,
bigger than
or
life.
the time that my grandfather, you know, had the sexy dance with my mom's friend, and you see it, everyone just lights up because it's you know that this is all true. So that's what's so fun about having that.
And you know what? I'm going to give you 2 words, and you tell me what they mean to you: authenticity and integrity.
Yes, I love those words. I've used them quite a bit when talking about things that I do and choices of work that I do. And Nona's Party is such a gift for me because, first of all, I wrote it, and it's about the people I love the most, and I'm able to play myself. You know, being an actor, sometimes there's roles that come your way that don't fit for you or for me. Yeah. And authenticity is 100% in my bones when I'm doing Nona's Party. And integrity as well, like looking 10 years down the line, the message that I'm trying to portray through this piece is something that I'm always going to be proud of. And making people laugh is something that I've always loved to do, just even off stage. So being able to integrate my theater and acting training as well as who I am and where I come from, that's really how Nona's Party came to be. And
you said 10 years down the road, let's go a couple. You're writing the screenplay. Yeah, it's great. You know, I mean, and you're saying you spoke to the director, Rock of Ages, gave you some great advice. That it's the idea, you follow it, you believe in it, and the dream will come true. Look at the stage production, it's on screen. You're writing the screenplay. So how does that feel, you know, starting with an idea, the stage production, and then it'll happen. You know, do you find it just feels right?
Well, I really believe in that. Like, you know, I want everyone to know that if you see something, you believe in it. Yeah. You know, you just take the steps to make it happen. So her telling me, you know, you should follow this thing through, and me being so excited and wanting to go to Broadway to perform in Rock of Ages, but saying, you know what, this is maybe my opportunity to make Nona's Party happen by not running away to another show. So that's what I did. I just kind of stayed put, and this is it.
I got to ask you in closing. So you're writing the screenplay. You're gonna playing your mom. You say, okay, what are we gonna do about Nona? Should we call out to people to send CDs? Are you looking now for actresses?
Yeah, well, we will be looking for a Nona. So I'm looking for a Sicilian, Italian, 80, well, maybe 75-year-old actress to play Nonna Rosa.
But if you want to see Nona's Party, and again this weekend, Ashley, for more information about you two and what your next steps and just following along with you, should they go to your website?
Yeah, Facebook is amazing right now for Nona's Party because we're putting up all this live, real footage of these characters. Twitter is awesome, and www.nonasparty.com is the website. And I also just want to say one more thing. For this Milton run, we're so excited to have La Rose Bakery as our sponsor, who has amazing, incredible pizza that will be served to all the audience members.
Oh, it's going to be incredible. Do you want to finish with a honey, honey, honey? It must be funny in a rich man's world.
Mamma mia, taking it back.
I tell you. So listen, Ashley Burton, and congratulations again on all your success, and we're just thrilled to have you here today for your interview. Thanks so much.
September, what's the date here for the Milton run? September
this weekend.
13th, 14th, and 15th.
Yeah.
Yes.
So don't miss it. Well, leading up to the 2012 studio tour, we're going behind the scenes to visit 2 artists this week. The first one is Kathy. With her fiber, threads, and colorful wool, she turns those into beautiful canvases. The next is Davoud, quite an interesting soul. He started out his career back in Iran, collecting popsicle sticks as a young boy, and watch where it's taken him today. Well, we're in the fabulous, colorful, creative studio here with Kathy, where the magic happens behind the scenes. And first of all, I'm looking around at the color and the textures and the wools and yarns. First of all, I don't know a lot about fiber art, being a mixed media. So take us through, what is a fiber artist? And what, I'm looking at wool, I'm looking at different things. Tell me what that entails.
Basically, the definition of a fiber artist is someone who takes something through a needle and attaches it to something.
Ah, so it could be a thread.
It can be a thread. It can be it can be a bobbly sort of a thread. It can be anything. I have stitched plastic. I have stitched with wire. Anything goes, but the point is it's going through a needle. A lot of fiber artists use sewing machines and they work from that, but I was always one who, I need to feel it going through my fingers.
And now, so when you have a project, so there's a work in progress here, and we're surrounded again by these, it's like eye candy with all these beautiful things to be working with. Now take us through this. This is on a piece of material, Kathy?
This is on a piece of muslin, and it's just held in place by a thing. Eventually it'll be stretched and framed. This is a standard technique that I use on a lot of my pictures for background, and basically what this is this is plastic that has had crayon melted upon it.
So you've got color
and that
texture.
gives me a color, and I'll look at it. Sometimes it doesn't look like anything and I don't use it.
So
Other
like a wash
times,
on a canvas.
Sort
almost.
of,
okay.
But very abstract. So this, I think, will be a butterfly, but it might be a fish too. It's certainly got the shape of either one. That's kind of the way these things go when they're abstract.
And for sizes for you, Kathy, would this be, do you usually work in a 12 by 12 or different depending on what you're...
12 by 12, 8 by 8, because stitching is so much more time consuming when you're doing it by hand. I'm not going to produce really, really large works.
And because it's interesting because you're a blend of talents. So you're an artist as well as a musician and a fabulous flautist. But you say it's combined. You say they help each other, they inspire each other.
Absolutely.
So playing the flute inspires you through music with your artwork. Maybe explain that to the viewers as well, how it's connected.
One of the pictures, and it's actually over there, I called Scheherazade because while I was producing this picture, I listened to Rimsky-Korsakov's Scheherazade. I had just come from the TSO and heard it there. And I love the flute part, and it's in the grade 7 requirement list and all the rest of it. So it just inspired me. And so that's one way it works. Another one, I've actually done pictures with musical symbols in it and music background. I've taken old pieces of music and glued it down to fabric and then stitched over top of it.
And the interesting thing is you create from the heart, but also working on commissions, because there's a lot of different pieces you're working on for clients. So that's something else that's really exciting for you. And as I look around the studio, again, for the viewers at home, I think we're going to have a chance to take a peek, but it's like being in a paint store. I mean, you've got the hues, the colors, it's all neatly laid out with wools, you have beads, you've got so many different pieces here to work with and get creative. And the exciting thing is we've got the studio tour. 15th year we're celebrating this year, and you're part of the studio tour here at your home, in your studio called...
They get to come take your wool for a walk.
And they can come here into this magical setting. But tell us a little bit about what you're going to be working on for the studio tour, because that's going to be an exciting time for people to come into your world and see what you're all about.
Usually for the tour I have one major big thing going on, and I'm not sure what that will be, but I also have a lot of small things. And recently I got into working on water-based pastels, and putting them, if you paint them onto material, they run a lot more when you wet them, so it's kind of a nifty effect. And I will probably be doing a lot of smaller pictures of those, because people are generally looking for small things.
Definitely.
And I've tended to do a bunch on kitchen vegetables and fruits and stuff. So it's always kind of nice to have a little bit of art in your kitchen.
Well, we're going to have a little bit of art hopefully now, because I want to see you in action. So
well,
you've got your needle and thread.
I'm just beading
I'm worried about you poking your fingers. So
no.
So take us. So right now, what you're doing is you're going through just attaching your beads into an actual section, which will be a little blue area.
Yes, yes. And then I was thinking about stitching this, which is a very variegated unusual fabric, fiber right down the center, perhaps in 2 layers. And I would have to stitch it down because this won't go through the material because it'll just fall apart on me. So yeah, and then after I get that done, I'll take a look and see, okay, now what? That's how I work.
So you're going to be here again, nestled just off of Charles Street on the 29th and 30th.
Yes.
People can come in.
Yes.
Stroll around.
10 to 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
And come in and work on.
They
work
can,
ready to go?
and I always have other little things for them to look at. Last year there was a little girl who was about 4 who was absolutely fascinated, spent an hour, and I gave her a lot of little bits of wools left to take home and play with.
Little treats to take home.
Little treats. So.
Well, thanks for letting us come again, step into this magical, colorful space known as, what is you've got
Take
your
your
Take
wolf
for a walk.
Yes.
And hopefully people will take a walk and come in for a visit here at the studio tour and come and visit you. And again, thank you so much, Kathy.
No problem, my
Back to
pleasure.
So excited to be in this beautiful world of wood and this gorgeous, gorgeous artwork. The studio is just stunning. And Davoud, we've got some product here, some beautiful pieces, but maybe you could take us through a little bit of the journey of this one, because you've got sort of almost finished product here with your beautiful wooden sculpture, but you can maybe show us the layers of how this magic comes to be. So again, for the viewers, they'll be able to see this beautiful piece, but I'm just going to gently carry it out of the way. And then maybe you could explain this fabulous process.
So this is actually the finished product. As you can see, I use a variety of wood to build the whole structure. I use cherry, purple heart, mahogany, all sorts of different type of wood. They have their own color, they have their own organic feel. So I assemble the whole structures in a sections. As you see this piece, they're all little pieces, all cuts, and then and glued each layers. And then when I am finishing with assembling, for a while it will probably takes the moisture off after staying for curing for a while, and then later I turn it, and that's the result, as you can see.
And I don't know if the viewers will be able to pick up some of the detail as I look even into the neck of this piece. It's just unbelievable what you're doing when you're putting these pieces together. It's like a little puzzle. But
that's
it's
exactly it is.
beautiful.
I don't make mold for shape like that, as you see. I am just cutting the way angle cuts all those pieces, and it creates a circle. Almost circle, and then when you turn it, it becomes completely circle. So that's the way you see all stack, different type and different layers. So that would be the result.
And again, we have to talk about this piece as well. Yeah. And most people think of a sculptor as something that you would place in a beautiful spot in your home, but this moves. He has a personality, and there's movement to this. Yeah, so maybe if you could tell us. Yes,
it's my low maintenance pet.
So tell us about this special piece.
This is actually I came up with the idea around 12 years ago. It wasn't like as you see, but it just evolved and it get better and better. And as you see, by each rings are moving separately, so it allows me to get any shape I want by just in any angle I want to get through. And I use variety again wood to make those shapes and form. It can go all the way down, fishing. Tail can go down.
And I can see in your eyes the love of what you do. It's the passion is there, and it was interesting. We spoke before the interview, and you were saying the world is an interesting place through an artist's eyes. It's a different magical world, and I see that love of what you do as you look at your piece.
You know, I learned a lot from my mom. My mom taught me how to appreciate anything that's done by hand. So from early age, so I started to get compliment. The compliment was the reason for me to get more involved with different things and just showing it and say how beautiful it is. Don't you see it? It's something different. And that was one of the reasons. And when I am making few pieces and show to people, people are constantly telling good things about the way I think, and that even boosts me more, and it's a good motivational. I learned to get compliment. I am crazy about it, I think so.
It inspires you. And the thing is, when you're speaking about showing pieces and people seeing them, we have to talk about the studio tour. And it's going to be the 29th and 30th here at your beautiful studio here in Campbellville.
Exactly.
And will there be a variety of pieces on display for people to come and see?
I do have. This is, as you see, it's my studio, and I have always, you know, new pieces are coming. Like, I'm working constantly on 3-4 projects every few months, so I'm always having something on display, and then always trying to impress my own mind. So I always look for something new, something that I haven't seen, because my idea is just grow through my experimentation, and I learned so many things through just experimenting. Yeah.
And just trying something new. And for people who want to contact you, we'll have all your information, but you do commission pieces as well. So something special that someone has in mind, you'll create something for them, and you're open to doing that work as well.
I do. Sometimes people asking, you know, if they request it to their space and the room they have, so I can do always, you know, try to custom made for them. And
oh, it's wonderful. And again, the studio tour is coming up, which is wonderful here in Campbellville. But in closing, I found it just so inspirational, again, when you talk about your journey. And I have to ask you before we close this, you stepped away from a life as an electrician from, say, $50 to, as an artist, we've almost worked for 50 cents. Yes. Do you ever, for 1 second, ever regret stepping away to become an artist?
Oh, of course not. That was my passion. Yeah. That was what I wanted to do always. Even during the electrical, I was always looking to... Let me tell you, I never buy a furniture for myself. I always renovate them, or I never buy any wooden, you know, furniture at home. So I'm always busy with fixing, and I'm a handyman anyway.
And creating everything. Well, thank you so much for letting us come to the studio today and taking a little glimpse into your magical world of wood sculpture. Thank you so much, Davoud. Well, for our live performance this week, we've got Kathy Tyers in her backyard with her musical group, Simply Flutes. Well, that's Arts and Soul for this week. And if you're a visual or performing artist and you'd like to be part of our program, please send us an email. And we're excited about next week's show. We've got quite a lot of talent. And we'll also be talking about the Milton Film Forum. All that and more next week. Thanks for watching.